Well, I was sitting at the foot of of Abe here. I don't know if you saw my little tease I did before I left my apartment, which is 3 miles. And then I sit here, talk to you guys, and go back for 3 miles. uh, I just want to make sure you hear me. This is a new phone I'm using. I lost my other phone and I couldn't find. Boy, I'm getting old and lose stuff. I call it a faux pops. That's a faux pas, what? A faux pops. And that's what I'm doing. Lots of faux popses every day, and lots of mistakes, and I'm doing it every day. So let me make sure you guys hear me, okay? There's a lot going on, in Washington. The steam coming out of the White House. There's smoke coming out of the Congress. There's smoke and steam everywhere. Lots of things that are happening. Let's see. Come on. Anybody hear me? Can you make sure you hear me? Okay. Well, we're gonna get bigger in debt, but it'll help us get out. In other words, to me, if you go in debt to do things important, that will help your income later. So, keeping people employed, that sounds good for long term. You getting an education, that sounds good in the long term. You getting a place to live, that sounds good for the long term. You going on a cruise, well, I don't know if that's investing in your long term. Maybe in your short term, psychic or whatever. I mean, but if you don't have the money, man, you got to invest in those things that are important and take care of your life long term, not just immediate gratification. Seems that's what we're all into, something immediate. And that's what people say, oh, I want you, just give me a website so I could fill out the form and get money. Well, some of this COVID stuff is like that, but most of the stuff that's important in life isn't, and it's going to take work. Let's go, I'm having dinner at the White House. That's why I see you. No, I'm not having dinner at the White House. I've done the White House a couple times, but that's through stuff my kids did, or my ex-wife was a friend of somebody, things like that. But no, I'm not persona non grata, but a guy in a funny suit. Actually, when I went in to shake hands with Obama, he looked at me in my suit and said, "Best suit ever in the White House." Well, let me tell you about the stimulus package, okay? It looks like they're getting closer. The president wants to talk with Nancy and said, Nancy, let's do something. Nancy already has a bipartisan bill. No, there's actually it's the president and the Senate that were stopping everything. The Republicans ruled the Senate, and they didn't want anything. They came out with a little bill they called the skinny bill. It was like $500 billion. And Nancy had one for $3 trillion, and then she brought it down to $2 trillion. Now what they have, I think, the president's getting cold feet because he's losing an election maybe. So he's got to do something. So he's telling the Republicans to throw more money at this thing. So that's what was stopping. The Republicans were not increasing the amount of money they wanted to put in this bill. And he told Nancy, let's get something done, So that seems to be the grease that's required to get something done. And what happens is there's a House bill that 50 members of Congress in the House of Representatives agreed on a bipartisan bill already. So both Republicans and Democrats agreed on a bill, and in the news today, that's what they're talking about will probably happen. And see, they're only in session for about 3 weeks or more before they have to go out for the election. So they have to get something by then, and they have to, by the end of October, have a bill so to keep the government running too. So they're pushed, to do something. And it looked like to me for a while, nobody wanted to do anything, and so maybe they're going to wait till after the election. But I don't think there was enough people, elected members, that wanted to wait till after the election. So this is being pushed by both parties to get something done before the election. So in this new bill, there'll be at least, it's not agreed upon yet. It's only come in a caucus that's bipartisan. So before we only had bills that came out of one side. We had a Democrat bill and we had a Republican bill. Now we have a bill that's both Democrats and Republicans that they have to get it approved by both the House and the Senate. But this bipartisan bill, which everybody seems to be, closer to than anything else, will give you the $1,200 check, and also give you $500 for every dependent. So whether you have a child dependent or an adult dependent, and that was the last one is only for child dependents. So this is child and adults. So if you're taking care of grandma and grandpa, you get $500 because you're helping them. Okay, that's going to be in. There's also going to be, by the way, the income level for that is the same as last time. So what is it, like, $100,000, $70,000, $80,000, I forget what it is, but the same income level as last time. Now for the unemployment, what they agreed upon was $450 extra per week. Not the $600 and not the $200. so they went to $450. But listen to this. The bill says, now again, it's not permanent yet. The bill said it's $450 for, I think, 4 or 8 weeks. And then for 5 more weeks, you get $600. And the details, there's probably a lot of details in that. So at least $450, and then maybe up to $600 for, 5 more, that's for 8 weeks. And then for 5 more weeks, it'll be $600. I think a total of 13 weeks. So you get an extra 13 weeks of at least $400 to $600 a week. By the way, the $1,200 they're talking about is next March, if we're still in trouble, to send out another check for $1,200. So that's sort of interesting. I wonder if that will stay in there. So you got $1,200 check, $500 per dependent, and that's adult or child. Then you got $450 a week extra for unemployment, and you got then $600 after that. So you get 13 weeks of either $450 or $600. Okay, now for small business, it looks like what's in there is for the PPP. Okay, now that was a little cumbersome, so that's why most small businesses and entrepreneurs use the emergency money. So it looks like it may only be the PPP, but they're trying to make that easier, and for self-employed and for entrepreneurs and the like. So it'll be in that. So that means you get it, and then it becomes a grant, and they're going to make it a lot easier. The PPP was hard before because actually to get the grant, you need to hire an accountant for a couple $1,000s or something, which was crazy, But hey, isn't life crazy all the time? So I just try to figure it out. So that seems to be. So you got PPP for entrepreneurs and self-employed and small business. Okay, all of that wrapped in the PPP. You got the extended unemployment, $450 or $600 a week for 6 weeks, and then you got a stimulus check, a single check for $1,200 plus $500 for every dependent, child or adult, and maybe another $1,200 in March. And then there's a whole bunch of money which all the state and local governments are in the toilet because they had to pay for all this stuff and they had no tax money. So there's a $500 billion, it looks like, for the states to not have to close up, and also for education and for testing and for the post office, got I think $10 billion. But none of this is definite yet. So this is just in a bipartisan. This is the only bipartisan thing that we have. And this is coming out of the Democrat House of Representatives, but it's a bipartisan. And the Trump says he wants to do it, and he's telling the Republicans to give more money. The Republicans were the skinny people. Actually, not a lot of them are skinny, though, are they? And so he was telling the Republicans to give more money, and he wants to start negotiating with Nancy. So he sent Munchkin up there, whatever his name is, the Treasury guy, to get this thing done. So keep track. Stay tuned. And don't forget, if you're trouble with rent, there's still a lot of money from the last CARES. I'm showing you how to find that a lot, because these things are coming out every day in local authorities, local counties, cities, states, and keep track. Look at my old videos and learn how to find those using Google, because if you just say Google rent, you're not going to get it. So learn the research techniques to make sure you find all the rent money and mortgage money that's already out there. And don't forget about the CDC letter. They can't evict you if you send a letter to people, to your landlord, and then they have to keep you there no matter what the hell you do, unless you're going to break the law or something. But because you can't pay the money, they can't do anything until January 1. And that's a letter you send your landlord from the CDC. I'll try to put in some of these links in the discussion on YouTube, and Let's Go Help members, I got it all. You just start a new discussion and tell me what you want and what you need, what your trouble is, and I send you the links. Oh man, it's just so much fun. But actually, I got an inquiry today. I want to do something about it too. They said, well, yeah, she said, it's hard. You got to do the research, and it's hard. And then she said, but she thanked me so much and said, but it's so worth it. And that's the key, is that sure, it is effort. And it may not be, you may get lucky or whatever, but you really have to get in and realize this is going to be effort. Anything you want to do in life takes work. If it's easy, it's probably ain't worth it. And then you don't feel good about it either if it became that easy. Yeah, that's why I always say, just think if you play basketball with a 5-year-old. You're going to win all the time, right? That's not fun, is it? No! Fun is it. How good are you? How much can you improve today? What could you do that's better than yesterday? That's what I want to do. Help people find tools to do that, because it's out there if you're really willing to work at it. Easy? May happen, may not happen. I yelled at a member yesterday. She said, oh, I want to know where's the easiest money to get lots of? And I said, if you want to go and find money that's easy and you want to get lots of easy money, I said, nobody wants to help you. I mean, you call up a government office and say, oh shit, I just want to see how much money I get. They don't want to help somebody like that. They want to help people who need help. You're just a gimme, as I call them. We want to help real people in real trouble. You want an easy way out in life, and sure, people find that, and that's fine, but it doesn't interest me, and I hope most people, but the problem with that, working hard, see, people were taught that, oh, we should have it easy in life, and oh, that's a hard thing to get out of our minds. We all want it easy. I do too. So it's a hurdle we all got to get over. Talk to you soon, guys. Thank you.